Hello and welcome to the How to Become an MVP webinar. So let me introduce myself. My name is Tamás Varga. I'm the manager of the community programs and the MVP program at Sitecore. And today we are joined with Pablo Peralta, who is a 10 times Microsoft MVP. And recently he wrote a book about becoming a most valuable professional in the tech community. And we invited Pablo to have a 60-minute masterclass for you on his findings about myths and some other things what he learned about the MVP programs. Hello, Pablo. Thank you for being with us here.
Hello, Thomas. I'm so happy to be here with you and with the Sitecoreans. So happy to be here and share with you my findings and this passion for the community and for technology and for people, because in the end it's all about people. And I was inspired to write a book and develop some programs on how to become an MVP. And these are the top 10 challenges and questions or things that you are facing when it comes to MVP. It all depends on where you stand, but some of them are in the position that they don't know exactly what an MVP actually is. Hopefully, after this webinar, we can answer most of these questions. But one of them is actually, what is an MVP? And the other is about, I don't know what to share with the community, or I don't know how to influence more in the community, and especially in today's war with all the pandemic, and we cannot, meet in person. And how is sharing with the community in this new war, facing these new challenges. And some of them say, I don't have enough time to share stuff with the community. We will be debunking certain myths around that later in this presentation. Or I'm not a tech guru, and so I wouldn't be an MVP, or I cannot be an MVP because I'm not a tech guru. That's another myth, and we are going to cover that later. So the other one is about, I don't know what to do to become an MVP, which the steps are, and how is the process, and how to get nominated, and all that stuff. And we are going to cover that, and we have Thomas here that is going to share with you, the exact process that applies to the Sitecoreans. Or I'm not visible to the right people, or I panic public speaking, so I cannot be an MVP because I panic public speaking, and that's wrong. That hasn't to be like that. Or I want to be versatile, and being an MVP, stretches me to only one technology or things like that. That's another thing that it's not true. And the 10th one, it's in any order, but I'm not up to date with my certification. So if I'm not fully certified, I cannot be an MVP. So all those are the top 10 things that I have been seeing during these years, working with MVPs and mentoring them and developing my book and programs. And hopefully some of this stuff I can give you some answers in this webinar. So first off, and as a disclaimer, this is not a receipt. This is not become an MVP quickly in these 10 steps or things like that. And there is no any magic formula, and if anybody is telling you that, or if you are expecting that, I'm sorry to tell you that there isn't, and this webinar is not about that, but it's going to be much more about the spirit, the type of mindset, and about how actually you need to grow as a person, and grow in how you serve others, and how you approach to others and offer help, and build true connection in your community and true impact in your community. And that's something that takes time and takes it's a process of building trust with others and building confidence in your community and providing value, and that cannot be made from night to day. So really, this is not a recipe or become an MVP in 10 quickly steps. Okay, so who am I? Really, I'm coming from the Microsoft space. I'm a 10-time Microsoft MVP. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I have founded several companies and products developed in my past. And recently, as I was, I have the grace to develop an entire community from scratch in the Spanish-speaking community on Microsoft products. So I have been interacting with a lot of extraordinary professionals that really started building trust and started building content for their communities, and they started to approach to me seeking that guidance and advice on how to become MVPs, what they had to do. So I found it myself repeating, meeting after meeting with them, a lot of concepts. So I decided to put that all together, and that inspired me to write this book and then develop other programs. So I could impact much more people that really deserve to be recognized and deserve to be more visible and being recognized for the efforts that they were doing for the sake of the community. So that's why I wrote this book. And Thomas, I don't know, you would like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. As I mentioned, I'm working for Sitecore in the past 4 years as a manager for the community programs and driving the community events and the MVP program. But I'm working with the Sitecore technology since 2006, and I was also a Sitecore trainer for a couple of years and Sitecore MVP for 6 years. So that's my background, and I'm more than happy to help anyone to become an MVP. But as Pablo mentioned, that it's really more on you than anyone else. So please take all his advice, and let's work together to have the Sitecore community the best around the globe.
Yeah, and I want to especially thank you, Thomas, and make that thank you public in this webinar, because I want everybody to know that Thomas has been a great and amazing contributor to the book, and he was reviewing every chapter, even sharing with me some typos or misspellings in English. Sorry, you can realize that English is not my first language, but I try my best. And really, I want to thank you, Thomas, and thank you for this dedication, for dedicating your everyday life to the community, and for building this program, in this case for the Sitecoreans, that really these type of programs changes not only careers, but when you change careers, you are changing lives. And this is why it's so important as well for you, if you're really passionate about technology, if you want to get better, if you want to grow, to really pursue to become an MVP, not because of the award, not because of the trophy, but because this is going to really impact your career. And when you impact your career, you impact your entire life, and your entire life changes and elevates. And the great thing about this is that it's not only you, but you are impacting others and are helping others. So you are growing the best way possible. That is, doing positive things for others. And in your case, Thomas, you have been an MVP. You are now leading the program for the Sitecoreans, and you are taking care of all of them. So really, I want to thank you, and I guess that the entire Sitecore family. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And thanks for the book.
Thank you, really. And so, who are MVPs? And I try to compile. It's curious, the different definitions from different vendors. And for the sake of the time here, we have only 60 minutes. We are only covering 2. But if you are a little more curious, try to go to what Google says, what Amazon AWS says, and what others are saying, Salesforce and SAP, what all are saying. But taking a couple of them, let's start with Microsoft. And Microsoft refers to MVPs as technology experts. So first, it makes the distinction about technology expert, but then it talks about passion and says who passionately share their knowledge to the community. So it's expertise, it's passion, and it's knowledge and sharing with their community. And I love this phrase because it says they have an unstoppable urge to get their hands on new, exciting technologies. So maybe you are not a tech guru, maybe you are not a techie, but you really love to put your hands on new stuff, on technology, and see how that technology, what you can do with that technology in your business, or with your customers, in the case you're a partner, a consultant. So it talks about professionals driven by their passion, community spirits, and quest for knowledge. And that quest of knowledge is very important because you spend a lot of time with technology, and technology changes every day. So you need to keep up to date, and for that you need that spirit of quest for knowledge. And let's jump to the Sitecoreans. So it talks about, the definition talks about individuals with expertise, of course, in Sitecore, who actively participate in online and offline community. Hopefully, we can get back to offline communities very, very soon. But again, it's talking about, passion, expertise, and it's talking about sharing with the community and share that expertise, with everybody. I think when you mention here, Thomas, in your program, with Sitecore partners and customers, I think you are referring to, try to help others without seeing actually who you are serving, who you are helping. I think this is very important because in my past, as a consultant, I faced myself helping others who were competing with me, in a commercial proposal for the same customer, for instance. Or I saw, competitors that were using my articles, were using my tutorials, my things, to implement things in their customers. And I think that's part of the spirit of MVPs, and I like these definitions for that, because really it's about putting you abstract from all of that, abstract from any competition, abstract from everything, and trying to put the community and your spirit of servanthood on top of all of that, and saying, okay, the universe has my back, and the universe is going to pay me back, for doing this, because I'm really putting my talent, my knowledge at the service of the community, and I don't care who is going to benefit from that, but I really want to serve. So I think that's the spirit of MVPs, and again, I invite you, if you are more curious, to see other definitions from other vendors. But in this slide, I will try to summarize, to compile the different definitions and the different main distinguishing characteristics according to most of the vendors. So the first off, when we are talking about MVPs, we are talking about professionals that are driven by passion about the products, about the technology, and passion about sharing what with the community. in my past, I found myself when I discover certain things in the technology, certain new release, certain new functionality, or I solve certain problem, that if I wasn't sharing that with the community, I was actually doing a disservice. I was actually doing something wrong. I had that urge to share what I discovered with the community, and that's the passion. The second one is what I was referring to a couple of minutes ago, about the genuine community spirit, and putting all your service, all your talent at the service of the community, and not paying attention who is going to benefit from that, and if it's a colleague, if it's a customer, or if it's a competitor of you, you don't care. You are just serving others, and you are becoming a better person for that. The third main characteristic here is about top contributors. And this is not, you are not an MVP. You don't become an MVP because, someday you post something in your social network, or, from time to time you post something on your corporate blog, or you, produce certain video or one webinar in a year. That's not, that's not what makes an MVP. An MVP is someone who is truly committed to make the difference in the community, and it's among the top contributors. It's someone that is constantly, or regularly at least, contributing in different, from different channels. Maybe you like more, conferences or this type of online webinars. Maybe you like doing YouTube videos. Maybe you like more writing. I traversed different stages in my career as an MVP. In my past, for instance, I were very active on community forums, and that had a reason. And the reason is that it's very interesting, because when you try to help others and solve certain challenges that maybe are on certain forum, you are actually learning much more yourself, because you see real problems that real people is currently facing, and by trying to solve those problems, you are actually gaining more knowledge, more experience, and at the same time you are helping others. So, for instance, participating in forums is a great way when you actually want to grow in a technology, so you can learn, and at the same time you can help others. But I had other stages in my career where I used to write more, and I deliver a lot of articles and tutorials and step-by-step guidance. And then I moved to do podcasting and doing YouTube, and then I did a lot of in-person events and conferences, and now I'm building programs and putting all that in video, and I'm moderating much more. I'm a moderator in conferences. So you move around, and that's okay that you fluctuate and are flexible and are changing according to your interests and your and how your career, you are doing in your career. The other characteristic is about a technology expert, and I want to make the distinction here about what is a guru and an expert. I mean, this doesn't mean that you have to be a coder, and you really must be a tech guru, but it means that you really need to be an expert on the technology and really like the technology and embrace technology. Maybe you are more business oriented, and you are looking at technology and the way that really can impact certain business. So you don't code, or you are not maybe a skill on the infrastructure and all that kind of stuff, but you really love technology. I think that's part of the essence and the DNA of MVPs. And last but not least, MVPs are thought leaders. MVPs, have followers, and they have their position. They have their own followers because they are opinion leaders. They are really have their own identity, their authenticity. You have to be authentic. You don't have to be like other MVPs. You have to be yourself and be authentic. And MVPs used to have their leaders, their followers because of that, and because they are really leaders in each of their areas. Okay, so what are those are who are MVPs. Now, what are the benefits actually of becoming MVPs? And this is curious, because I think most of the benefits are not listed here in this list that I'm going to share with you. I think that most of the benefits come from all the journey that you made, all the path that you do, and how you grow, in that path, and the people that you get to know. I have two friends all over the world, friends that are telling me, Pablo, if you are coming to my place, if you are coming to, my city, and you don't stay at my home, I'm going to, get angry with you. People that I never meet before in person, and they are so supportive. Last year, for instance, I went through an operation, and my wife got really crazy about the messages that I received, and she was receiving, asking about my health, and most of them she didn't know anybody of them. They were all people from the community, all over places, speaking even different languages, asking for my health, and that's, I think, is the best that you can have as a benefit of becoming MVP, is the quality of persons, and how much you grow together on that. But let's try to get into now in some concrete stuff, or concrete benefits. And the first off, of course, is about the recognition. You get certain trophy, you get the distinguish, the award, the recognition, and that's something that, of course, for your career, it's something great, and differentiates you, and set you apart from others. You are no longer average consultant. You are now different. You are blessed by Sitecore. In this case, you are blessed by your tech vendor, and you are part of a directory of celebrities. So of course you get a concrete benefit, that is the recognition itself. The other stuff that it's a really key benefit of becoming MVP, is because you get access to the kitchen. You can see your lovely products, how the development teams, how the product teams are doing with that, what they are working on, and you get access to those early beats, and you get the chance to give your feedback in earlier stages. And it's amazing not only to have the grace of accessing those beats before anybody else, but also to be able to influence with your opinions the end result, and the final release of the products that you love and you use every day. So that's fantastic when you see that your feedback is applied there, you realize that your voice is really heard, and you are truly making the difference, not only for you, but for also the entire community that is using those products. Then, of course, you are now a celebrity, you are recognized, you get access, you unlock certain resources, and some of them are certain exclusive invitations for your MVP Summit annual conference, or other types of exclusive events or training invitations or certifications or things like that. You are first to get access to that kind of stuff. The other key benefits is to have that type of direct line, direct support. This is a shortcut for you. You get right to the people that you need to help you quickly on any issue, or any big challenge that you face on a project, and that's a key differentiator. And I, in my past, also could even gain relevant customers just because of that. They chose me because they know that by choosing an MVP, they got access to, they got an easier access to the vendor. In my case, it was Microsoft, but I think this pretty much you can do on the Sitecore side. Then the other key benefits is now the amazing opportunities that you have to contribute more, because you are now part of a select group from your vendor, and you are going to be the first to get invited to speak in certain conferences and certain official conferences, or relevant online training programs that your vendor is working on, because you are a recognized expert. And that means that you will be the first to be invited to that opportunities, and this will give you also the opportunity to reach and impact much more people, and gain even more visibility. Last but not least, we all love getting some free stuff, and getting some souvenirs, or getting some access to certain software licenses, or things like that. And the vendor in this case Sitecore, usually offers only certain things to MVPs, free stuff for MVPs. I guess Thomas can later talk more about that stuff. And again, this is, for me, if I have to sum it all up in only one benefit, I guess this picture, and a picture, it's worth more than 1,000 words. It's everybody says that. I think this picture is so great. I included this picture in my book, and I thank you, Thomas, for that, because I think it really it really summarizes and really transmit the value of becoming MVP, is being part of an amazing family that everybody here in this picture shares your same passion, your same values and spirit for helping the community. And it's a family that everybody is helping each other, and growing together, and also getting together to have some fun, and hanging out whenever it's possible, even today, online or in person, as is this case. So I think this is an amazing reason, a great reason why becoming an MVP is because you can be in this picture as well, and you can be part of an incredible family that is going to have your back whenever you need them. So having said that, let's see how you can become an MVP. What does it take really to become an MVP? So again, this is not a receipt, but there are the things that you need to work on to become an MVP. And first off is about committing yourself to learning more every day about your product, about your technology, about that quest for knowledge that we saw in the first definition from Microsoft. I think you really must love learning more every day about your technology, and that is part of the DNA of becoming an MVP. Then when you learn something, it's like today when you take a picture with your phone, after taking that picture, you have the art to share that quickly with somebody, sharing your Instagram, or send through WhatsApp to others. And with this, it happens the same. When you learn something, you start to get the art to share that with the community and share your learnings. And that's fantastic. That's fantastic, and that's what really brings true power and true impact in the community, when you actually share your authenticity and share what you discover. So committing to learn and loving it, and it's very, very important that you love that, and you love that process, because MVP is not a destination in itself. It's a journey, and it's a way of living. Maybe you achieve your award for first time, but this is not the destination at all. This just unlocks you a whole new world, a whole new perspective, and a lot of new opportunities for you to keep driving your passion and to keep sharing your knowledge with others. So really, if you don't love it, really don't do it, and it's okay with that. Not everybody is a leader. Not everybody is an MVP. It shouldn't be no nonsense. So we need followers, and we need just people that maybe likes it or not, but just it's a follower, and that's true. And maybe you discover that you are not ready, or really you don't like, you maybe look at to becoming an MVP because of the award, but not because you really love it. And you are going to spend a lot of hours, and you will need to make certain sacrifices. You will need to dedicate time. You will need to pay your price for becoming an MVP. So really, you must love it, and you must love the technology, and you must love sharing with the community in order to become an MVP. Okay. So the third aspect or action to become an MVP, of course, is really contribute, make a difference, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Be part of those who produce the content, not those who consume the content. So really, it's about making a true impact, and it's about sharing what you know with others. And it's important here that you don't copy and paste content from others, or you don't copy and paste knowledge-based articles or things like that. I did that in my past, and I was wrong. That wasn't creating really true impact. It's not sharing something that you easily find in Google. So because if you found it, why others couldn't? So it's about really sharing what you discover, sharing what is working for you, sharing your own experiences, sharing your own best practices, what you learn, what you are learning in the technology, and the unique ways you are implementing that technology, and driving impact. That if you find certain gap, you find some empty space. Maybe it's your in my case, it was that we had a lot of products, and those products had a lot of documentation and a great community behind it, but they were all speaking English, for instance. They weren't content in Spanish. So they were a gap. There was a gap there that I found myself that I could fill that gap through starting to sharing what I knew in Spanish. So I did that, and I drove in impact with that. So maybe in your case maybe we are missing certain tools or certain things that could make it easier for others to implement Sitecore products, and maybe that inspired you to start an open source project, or evangelize in some way a certain new model or new technology from Sitecore. So whenever you find an empty space and you think that you can fill that empty space through your authenticity, through your authentic experiences, that's a great way to really drive impact and contribute and share what you know with the community. And that's what thought leaders usually do. So really become that type of leader, be a positive influencer for others, and really don't reserve any knowledge for yourself. Try to share everything that you can with others, and embrace your community spirit and try to really help others to achieve their goals. And that I think is the best way that you can get better known. You can gain more relevance in the community, you can help others, and in the end you can get a nomination. So in the end, these things together, must end up in a nomination. So you are, put in the process to get it evaluated by, in this case, by Sitecore teams, by other MVPs, and by others that participate in the process of evaluating MVPs in the nomination process. And for explaining that, I would like to head over to Thomas, that can explain, step by step, this process that is the Sitecore selection process. So Thomas?
Yes, thank you, Pablo. Absolutely. Okay. And this is a process what we also publish on our website, and I think it should be known by everyone who would like to be an MVP. It's starting with an invitation. So either a Sitecore employee or an existing MVP can invite someone to fill in an application after creating an account. And filling in and submitting the application is usually during the month of November. And at the end of November, when everyone submitted their application, a review process is starting. And we are doing the review process with 3 teams. So the current MVPs are reviewing new applications. So for those who were not MVPs in the current year, and also the corporate teams, meaning, for example, we have 4 categories. So in case of commerce category, the commerce product team, in terms of strategy, the strategy and the SBOSS team is reviewing applications. For technology MVPs, the technical marketing team is reviewing, and also we have reviews on a regional basis. So the regional representatives of Sitecore also reviewing applications. Usually it takes about 2 months or 1.5 months, and I'm coordinating this with about 100 people. So altogether, the MVPs, the corporate and the regional teams is about 100 people. And my job is to summarize all these information and the votes on different applications. And after the summarizing, We are doing meetings to make sure that we are selecting everyone who should be an MVP, and we are not missing anyone. And after these meetings, we make a final decision. And after the final decision, a couple of days before the public announcement, which is usually end of January, we notify the MVPs who won the award. And on the day of the announcement, we notify the applicants who didn't receive the MVP award. And if you have any question regarding the process, you can also put it in the question box, and we will answer it at the end of the webinar.
Wonderful, thank you, Thomas. How we are doing with the time?
We have 15 minutes left.
Well,
need to hurry a little
I'm
bit.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I will need to hurry. Sorry. So let's debunk, at least a couple of myths here. I promise to, make this quick. But first off, I must be a tech guru. Wrong. That's a myth. That's a myth. Because really, you need to be curious and be generous and everything that we already spoken. But you don't need to be a tech guru. Actually, there are categories for more business-oriented people. So again, this is all about loving the technology, all what we already have discussed. Loving the technology and sharing what you know with the community, and from where you stand. Really, imagine there are a lot of people who are making their first tries, and maybe they are just completely new to Sitecore technologies. So you can add a lot of value for that people. So you don't have to be a master, to be a guru, and actually you can be more on the business side, and that is fantastic. We also need more people on the business side. Maybe I'm sorry, I'm speaking for Sitecore here as well, but in my case, in my experience, we also in the Microsoft side had a lot of people that were sharing code, and that's fantastic. I'm coming from a development background, so I love coding and I can read code. But having also people who can translate the value of technology in business stuff, and talk about the impact for a business, that's something fantastic, and also very highly appreciated, especially for those who are looking at the technology and how they can impact their business. So it's all about being curious, being generous, sharing from where you are, and from your profile, sharing your views about the technology, and sharing that valuable content, and always put your uniqueness, your authenticity on top of everything. So don't try to be like others, be yourself, and the community will thank you for that. The second myth is about I don't have the time. So and I love this one. Because be very, you must be very careful with this one, because usually this is a very dangerous myth, and usually this is an excuse or fear in disguise. In reality, what you need to realize here is that you must make a mindset shift, because I'm not going to give you the receipt, and I'm not going to tell you or lie and tell you that this doesn't require time. It does require time. It does require dedication. You have to put this as a priority for you, as a goal. But first off, you have to realize that you need to make a mindset shift. And I'm sorry, I don't used to quote things that I develop on my own, but I think in this case, this really summarizes what I want to share with you, and this is part of my book. The mindset shift, it's about understanding that by you investing time in any MVP related activity, in every contribution that you make for the community, you are actually investing in yourself. Why? Because you learn more, you grow more, you gain more visibility, and you are actually uh, building your steps to become an MVP. So really, this is an investment in yourself. It will always pay off with or without the award. You need to abstract from that. It's because, whenever you do an MVP related activity, it usually push you out of your comfort zone, and it helps you grow, and it helps you learn more, and it expose you to new friendships, new people, new challenges, and all that stuff always pay off. And today, I have a strong relationship, for instance, I could make a lot of business with people that I met during my participation in conferences, or why participating in forums, and that couldn't be possible if I didn't I didn't make this type of mindset shift and realize that I was actually investing in myself, and this will going to pay off. So again, be very careful with this myth. I'm not saying that this doesn't require time. It does require time. It does require dedication, but it's 100% guarantee investment. There isn't any other type of investment that you can do that guarantees 100% of return on that, and this is one of them. Okay, so be careful with that, and be conscious about that one. And there are other myths. Really, we don't have enough time in this masterclass. I debunk them, in my books and programs. But just some headlines. We cover the guru one, the I don't have the time, but you don't need to be a great public speaker. I don't consider myself a public speaker, and at this point I'm getting out of my comfort zone, delivering a presentation and making it in English, and I know that it's not perfect, but I know that this helps me grow, and I'm doing that, and in the end I know that by doing that I'm providing, and I hope so, I'm providing certain value to you. So it's not perfect, okay, but everybody grows and everybody benefits from me doing that. Other types of myths, like this is a certification, it isn't, or that you do this for the money, and you shouldn't, and MVPs is not about money. But there are more myths, so just so you are aware of that. So to wrap up, 4 principles and 4 tactics for you to apply to become an MVP. So to summarize, 4 big principles. First off, your attitude. Have an attitude of serving others, of seeking help in others just for the sake of it, and abstract from a lot of things, and just putting your talent at the service of the community. Number 2, passion. So this is all about, passion is your fuel, and you are going to spend a lot of hours with your technology, a lot of hours sharing with their community. So really, you have to be passionate about this, because if not, chances are that this is going to turn like a burden to you, and you are going to give up. Number 3, principle number 3 is about your desire to transcend. Really, your desire to make a difference, be part of the solution, transcend in your career, get to a higher levels, and really, put your footprint in the community. And that's your desire to transcend. And number 4 your principle number 4 is about, willpower. Really, there's going to be a price for this. You will have to pay that price. I'm not telling about, monetary. It's not about money, but a price of maybe you spend certain weekend producing certain content, or maybe you cannot catch up with your favorite series on Netflix, or you miss something, or maybe you reduce from time to time, the number of hours you sleep. I did that in my past. I cannot do that now in almost my 40s. But there is a price that when you will need to pay, so you have to have the willpower to do that. Okay. And last but not least, four key tactics. The first one is about focus. And really, MVPs are distinguished because they are some kind of eminence expert on certain area, on certain technology. So you have to focus. You have to focus on certain things. But in that, when you put that focus, try to put your specialty on top of that. I mean, for certain technology, maybe you implement in such a way that differentiates you from others, or you could shape that technology in a way that others aren't doing, or it's very specific for your industry, or for certain things. Really, I'm sorry, I'm not well known on the Sitecore technologies, but I think you get it what I mean. Try to put your authenticity, try to put there, your specialty, and focus on that. The tactic number 2 is about impact, and try to, whatever contribution you do in the community, try to put it as to as much people as possible, to reach as much impact as possible. And how you can reach that impact, I think first off is when you are authentic and it's not a copy and paste from other. Second is that your content really provides certain value, provides a solution to a certain problem, provides a new perspective on how to implement or use that technology. When it's true quality, try not just to put things and contribute things just, I don't know, because you need to another contribution to enter in the nomination process. Really pursue driving value, and people will come. Really, when you put your authenticity, when you put really value on the table, people will come back. Be smart on that, and try to choose channels that will be a fast lane for you, highways to get to the audience that can really benefit from your content. And I want to emphasize this because sometimes, and in today's world, it is too easy, to start a new YouTube channel, or a new podcast, or to start a new blog. The technology is there, and is there for you to use it, and that's fantastic. We didn't have that possibility some years ago, but the building audiences, and I can speak from my own experience. It's a completely whole different business, and if really it's not going to be your business building audiences, try to not get into that, but instead use existing platforms, existing channels that are there for you, so you can leverage all those challenges, all those channels that exist today, so your content is put faster in front of bigger audiences. maybe this is, I'm talking about community forums, the exchange community, as you have this Sitecore side. Maybe, you have official user groups, all those type of places are the places that you should start. So, you make sure that your efforts really pay off, because in the end, are really having the impact, are really reaching people. Okay. Tactic number 3 is about commitment. Really, you have to commit yourself, make contributing your habits. I don't mean that you have to contribute every day, and again, this is be versatile with that, and it's going to change and be flexible, among your career. But make your habit to contribute to the community, and always commit yourself to put quality over quantity. Why I'm saying that? Because, and maybe, for those who are already existing MVP, you may be familiar with the last month race. When you, in the last month, you try to contribute what you did in the last, 11 months, because your renewal period, your evaluation period is coming up. So you start contributing, whatever thing you find there, and reposting things and that type of things. I'm sorry to tell you that most probably it's too late. And but if you build yourself the habit of contributing, and you set yourself to contribute real value, to put quality. I'm not saying, that make it in a sexy way and have a great design for everything. This is, a very poor design that I'm sharing with you here. But hopefully, these concepts really provide you value. So put quality, put value on top of quantity. And, last but not least, and I saw a lot of MVP aspirants who truly deserve the award, that fail on this, and just because of this, they couldn't make it to the award. And it's about keeping track of their contributions, keeping accurate records about about your impact in the community. Why? Because when you enter in the nomination process, and I'm sure that Thomas can explain that further later if you want, but you need to submit your contributions and list what was your impact in the last 12 months in the community. So really, you won't want to trust your memory when times come for your nomination. So what I provided here, this is a free download that you can, just go quickly now to becomemvp.com, and you can download it for free. This is just, in the end, it's an Excel spreadsheet, so there is nothing magic about this. But this will help you to keep track of what you are doing in the community, the date, the impact that it had in the community, the proof where Thomas, his team, and other MVPs can quickly click and have a proof about your contribution. So it's not only about contributing, but also about building that proof that you contribute in the community, and that you created that impact in the community. And also, hopefully, it also helps you as a planning tool, so you can set up your goals, see what you plan to contribute, and see how you are doing with that, and how you are progressing on your goals of making a difference in the community, and in the end becoming an MVP. So I encourage you to, if you don't have something similar like this, maybe you can benefit from it, and you can keep track of all the great that you are doing in the community. So just to finish this presentation, if I may, I want to invite here Thomas. to this podcast where you can follow the conversation?
Yes, absolutely. We have 3 major online communities where Sitecoreans meet, and one of them is the community forum, community.sitecore.net. So you can go there and find the MVPs there. So they are more than happy to help you with the process. And usually, as you have seen, you need an invitation from either a Sitecore employee or an MVP. So being part of the community also means that have a connection with someone in the community, and MVPs are really open to help you in your process and also helping you during the application time. We have a Slack channel so actually we have a Sitecore Slack chat where in different channels you can join the conversation, and of course MVPs are also there. And also you can ask questions even about the MVP program on the Sitecore Stack Exchange, which is sitecore.stackexchange.com. And we launched in April a new podcast called Get to Know an MVP on the Core Sampler podcast, where you can listen the story and some other thoughts from MVPs. I think it's could be a really important way to learn about different MVPs and different stories, how they become an MVP, and so on. So I highly recommend to go to coresampler.fm and listen to Get to Know an MVP series, because it's really inspiring, how different people from all around the world contribute to the community and what are their advice for you to become an MVP.
Hopefully, some of you who are in this session are part of this podcast later, sharing your story. That's amazing. I think that every story is great. And last but not least, if you want to learn more and you think that these concepts resonate with you, and I can provide with you with certain values, more principles, and tools for you to become an MVP. I had the book. There is the link. I'm sorry I don't have any ways to provide you with a discount code. I asked that, but and I don't have that possibility, so I'm sorry for that. But I do have the ability to provide you with a 50% off discount using that coupon code Friends of Sitecore. In this program, become mvp.mykashabi.com. There you will find more than 30 lessons, some questionnaires that you can also use in order to tailor your own journey as an MVP, your own strategy. So hopefully, that helps you in the decisions and in your journey as an MVP in whatever your standing point is. Hopefully that helps you also and gives you more tools and more resources. Okay. So just to finish, I don't know if you have a poll, Thomas, or just the questions here. If you would like to share in the chat window, that would be amazing. I just would like you to think one takeaway, just one takeaway you got from this masterclass, and one immediate action that you are going to take to grow as a community leader, making your difference in the community. Just one takeaway from this masterclass, and why immediate action you can commit yourself to do in this to become an MVP or to grow as a community tech leader.
We can go to the questions. So one of the question is that coding is very much use it or lose it. Do you feel that Sitecore helps or hurts with that skill? Personally, I absolutely feel that it helps, because Sitecore is always going with the latest technology. Like when we introduced the JSS part and the JavaScript services, I think someone who had that skill or wanted to learn that skill could do that. Recently with version 10, we released a new .NET Core API, which is also the latest and greatest. So if you want to code with Sitecore, you can always go with the latest technology and you can use it and you can learn more and more things. The next question is here. Do we have limit or threshold on number of MVPs per year, or all categories evaluated on an equal basis? So we do not have a limit. We would like to award everyone who is contributing to the community on a certain level. And there is no limit. In the last couple of years, we had over 300 MVPs. And I think, if we see more and more contribution, we will grow that community. We do not, plan the growth. So there is no target on growth and we do not limit it. But of course, we would like to award everyone who is contributing to the community on the level what we expect. Also, here was a question that, I keep on making smaller videos and blog posts. Can those be used to show that I'm helping the community? Absolutely. So if you have any kind of contribution, even if it's public speaking, presentation online, or blogging or making videos, that all helps. Also, this includes Stack Exchange. It's the easiest to measure because there are reputation points. So if you are answering questions on Stack Exchange, you get reputation points, and that's the easiest to see that who has the best answers and so on. So
congratulations on that. Congratulations on those contributions.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, question that where was it? Yes, what is the base of the evaluation? So for every category, we publish a list of qualities what we are looking for. In the different categories, we have different qualities, but basically always the basis is that we are looking for quality contribution online or offline. Of course, if you are in a strategy category, we are looking for posts on for example, marketing capabilities of Sitecore. If you are in the technology category, it could be anything from blog posts to open source modules or anything else. But the quality is what we are looking for. It's on the MVP website, so mvp.sitecore.com, and you can go there, and in the About section, we are posting these qualities. In case someone is not selected as an MVP, do you provide reasons for the decision? We do not provide feedback automatically, but if someone is asking us, or sending us an email, we are happy to gather the information from our review system and share that information with the applicants. Next question, what is the deadline for the nominations? The deadline is always end of November, so November 30th. If you have any more question and we cannot answer here, please go to the Slack channel, or you go to the Stack Exchange and you can ask it there. Or if you want, you can always email the MVP program team at mvp-program@sitecore.com. Thank you very much, Pablo.
Thank you, Sitecoreans.